Alright, so this deck right here, with the inclusion of the new Watch Cat card, I thought, hey, a good way to search out continuous spell cards. Why don't I make a morale boost OTK deck, since there's an easy way to search it out now? So for those of you who don't know, the morale boost OTK requires you to have Fire Princess and Gearfree the Iron Knight on the field, as well as morale boost face up. And then you send an Archifiend of Guilford to the graveyard, who will then attach himself to Gearfried, who will then destroy it, but not before morale boost gives you 1,000 life points for that equip. And Fire Princess also inflicting 500 points of damage to your opponent. And then the combo repeats infinitely until your opponent's life points go down to 0. So you'll gain 1,000 life points with morale boost. Fire Princess will inflict 500 damage. And then it'll just come back on the field, equip, get destroyed, 1,000 life points, inflict 500 damage, come back to the field, equip, destroyed, and so on and so on. So in order for this game state to happen, you need to have 2 very specific monsters on the field, 1 very specific continuous spell card out, and an easy way to get Guilford into the graveyard without missing timing, because he's one of those old monsters who can easily miss his timing if you don't do it correctly. So I found one of the best ways to do is just use Armageddon Knight off of a normal summon or off of a summoner monk. Like, no other chains happening. Don't use it in response to, something destroying Call the Haunted. Otherwise, it's going to miss its timing. It's so easy for Guilford to miss his timing. Alright, so at the very end of this video, I thought I would just talk about like the different versions of this deck. As you might be able to see in the deck name, I have my mouse hidden so you can't really see it. It says FD273 FPOTK3. That means it's FaDe number 273, Fire Princess OTK version 3. It's actually version 4, but I never actually saved the original version 3. So, first version of this deck, I thought I could do it with kaijus. So I have a couple of kaijus because what I originally thought I could do for this deck was to give my opponent a kaiju, bring out the Gilfer and attack into the kaiju and then get the infinite loop done during my during my battle phase. The reason this deck didn't work was because the combo itself is already hard to get and very inconsistent, and this version didn't have enough draw power. I could probably win if I ignored the whole point of the deck and just went for regular attacking over monsters going into links, but that's not the point of this deck. I can win like that with any other deck. With this one, I needed to get off the combo. So I eventually abandoned this one in order to get more draw power to it. So version 2 of it, I added in Supply Squad as my draw power, and Drowning Mirror Force, I think. Some actual defenses because I kept losing a lot. I kept in one of my kaijus, and I threw in... did I throw in Brilliant Fusion in this one? No, I think I had that in like all of them. I think I just threw in... I lessened the combo pieces a little bit, and I tried to get some draw power with Supply Squad and a little bit of defense with Drowning Mirror Force. I basically just kind of removed the kaijus from it and added more defenses to it because I added also Torrential Tribute, since I had Supply Squad out. This version of the deck was also inconsistent. Adding Supply Squad wasn't enough. So for version 3 of the deck, I went with Life Point Gain. That way I could use Replenishment Squad, which I don't actually have here, and that didn't work either. So version 4 of the deck, I went Card of Demise, triple Supply Squad, and I added in Card Trooper with Machine Duplication. I was like, this should give me the draw power I need in order to actually get the combo pieces out. And I also realized that Call of Hunt was kind of slow, so I went triple World Legacy Inheritor, whereas in previous versions I only ran one of it. Well, the Kaiju version had 3 of them. Kind of knew what I was doing there. And I just kind of was like, I'm going to treat this, like Gem Knight Garnet. If I mill morale boost with my card troopers, I'm screwed because I don't have a way to recover it. But generally, I was getting really lucky and drawn into Watch Cat all the time, so that wasn't a big deal. And this was the most consistent version of this very inconsistent deck. And I guess this is just to show you like the natural progression of these kinds of things. They take a lot of playtesting. And this was the version where I just went full on draw power. If this version didn't work, I had one more version in mind I could have tried. But luckily this one seemed to do the trick.